Hey there, thanks for joining us. I'm so glad you could make it. We did come out of our witch trials. It's all good. Now we're ready to talk about something else. It's a really strange world we're living in. I keep being challenged with reality that doesn't make sense. I know that I'm not alone in that. Yes. We're talking about the Knight of Pentacles. This is a state that many of us have found ourselves in. We have this concept of what the world should be like, and every which way we look, we are discovering it's not that way. It is a very strange time to be inhabiting a human on this planet. I don't know how to put that. Let's navigate that. It seems fun. What's our pattern? Power and play. We're going to start with our pattern. We have the Lovers, the World, and the Moon. This is a pretty straightforward pattern. I know it's all major arcana, but they're not frightening at all, except in the experience. This is someone who is a natural lover of the world. They find the joy in little things. Maybe they were the kid who stared at little bugs and thought they were fascinating, and also was the first in line for a roller coaster or to go to the grocery store because they just like to look at people. They also are fascinated by themselves and learning more about nature, just really curious and interested, and finds a completion in the world around them. They are entering this state of the World card, which is that everything changes. There is no fixed way to love a thing, that in order to love and be curious, you have to love and be curious about the nature of the way things change. That's the only way to stay in touch, because the Moon card tells you you don't know anything that's coming. And in fact, the World card tells you everything is changing. The Moon card obfuscates what that's going to look like. And no matter what you believe, this is true. Even those people who are able to see into the future aren't always able to understand the texture of their own experience in that future. So you can't really predict everything. But I want to remind you that you have that innate curiosity. I hope that if you are a curious person, you can be curious enough to be glad you don't know what's going to happen. Let's see what your powers are. You have the Queen of Cups. You have the Ace of Pentacles, and you have the Page of Cups. These are some of my favorite powers that a person could have. So the Queen of Cups, she's all about self-care and self-curiosity. So inside, she is interested in what makes herself tick, but she's also really protective of herself. The Ace of Pentacles tells me a few different things about you. Obviously, I want to look at the pentacle in your hand, but I cannot. I can only look at the gate with the mountains. The mountains are flowing to the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups, I love him because he sees the ridiculous things. I know that's not the traditional meaning of the card. I don't care, but he absolutely is able to laugh at things. And I think this is among the choicest gifts of heaven, the ability to recognize the absurd. Coming back to the Ace of Pentacles, now I can see the pentacle in your hand, which I think is confirmation actually that of what I just said, weirdly, that the ability to see the absurd is the choicest gift of heaven, and is actually a power that is worth something valuable. Where you take that, I don't know. All right, and now we will move on to your play. I hope it's a really good one. All right, we have the Four of Pentacles, the Four of Swords, and the Ace of Cups. Fours might be important, Ivy. Your play, which is actually quite wonderful in the Four of Pentacles, is to really do your best to stay quite grounded. Keep your feet firmly planted in what's happening around you. This allows you the ability to take advantage of it. But I caution you on placing too much emphasis on money. And then we have the Four of Swords, which really recommends you to keep in touch with your higher self. Spend time, dedicate time. Even if it's just when you close your eyes at night and you're clearing out the day, spend a little bit of time connecting or even pretending to connect, right, with your higher self. What would my most ideal version of me be doing tomorrow morning? And really just, spend a few minutes. It doesn't even have to be a lot, but make that connection every day. And the Ace of Cups is an emphasis on putting a priority on yourself, your own care and love and flow, because it is important as you go through the ridiculous things that are happening in this world. And there's no way to predict it. We already talked about that with the Moon card. It's a lot easier to be curious when you're not starving, right? Put that first. Put a priority on how to increase your stability and always be stable, because that is your first act of self-love. All right, I hope this was helpful. If it was, do those YouTube things, and peace out.